हाँ Good evening, students. My name is Bini Shahzad, and I am here to teach you the paper of F4 Corporate and Business Law. Before I can start, please do let me know, can you hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you can see the screen as well, shared screen as
Yes.
well with the heading objective of the class,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay, that's very good. Okay, uh, let's begin with the today's session. And my every class will start with objective of the class in which several topics will be mentioned, and we will cover each topic one by one. As in this class, the very first screen that I have shared with you is the objective of the class 12 January 2022, right? In which you can see some headings. One to 10. We will cover one by one all these things, and by the middle of the class, we will start by our very first topic of the syllabus. Before that, I want all my students to understand why we are studying this paper and how we will be testing. And before this, I need to give you my introduction. My name is Bini Shahzad. I am teaching this paper since last 10 years, and my objective of the class is not only to cover the syllabus, but my objective is to get through with your paper, right? So my only objective is, no matters how much time you will take to understand a concept, a topic, but for my priority, for my priority, your understanding is important. Once you all will understand one thing, then we will move forward, right? So your understanding, your questioning during class is very important for me, right? Okay. Today is our very first uh, uh, class, and the paper name is Corporate and Business Law. This is the third paper. This is the fourth paper of the section 2 of your qualification. As you know, your ACCA qualification is divided into 3 parts, and this is the first paper of your second part, right? Okay, now let's start with the orientation, the introduction class. What are the objective of our class is, firstly, we will understand the structure of ACCA qualification, where our paper falls, and number 2, what are the aims of corporate and business law, number 2, and why we are studying this paper. As by the name of the qualification, we are going to become the associated chartered accountants. So why we are studying the law paper? So second heading is about that, and third heading is about exam essential. Basically, this is the link of our paper corporate and business law with other papers that we have studied, or we will study in future, like management accounting, financial accounting, how to become an accountant, and the audit, and all the strategic planning. So what is the link of our law paper with the other papers of the ACCA exams? Secondly, what examinable documents we are supposed to study, right? What topics are included in our syllabus is our fifth content, is the syllabus content. What are the syllabus content, and what is the area that we are going to touch for our understanding during our professional lives, during our professional work, right? And seven, when we will understand the detail of the syllabus, then we at the at the seventh number, we will understand how we will be tested in the exam. This is the very important area, and I believe it must be communicated at very first class that why we are studying this paper, what is the connection of this paper, and how, or what are the topics, what are the contents that we have to understand, and how we will be tested, how we will be examined, right? So what is the exam structure, how examiner will ask the question, and how we have to prepare the content to answer the exams, right? And eight is the point. Eight is the course plan. Course plan is basically the strategy, how we will cover our syllabus, how we will practice our syllabus to get past the exam. So you can say 8 is the strategy to understand point 6 and 7, the detail of the syllabus and how this syllabus will be tested is the strategy, which is the course plan. I believe this course plan is shared by Hamza Academy to all of you, with all of you. If not, then I will share this course plan in my class so that you can also have a check and balance what you are going to study for the current class, for the upcoming class, and what syllabus contents you have covered before the class. So you can say the every class objective is provided to you in today's class, right? So you will have the understanding, okay, on upcoming Wednesday we are going to study this topic, and you can also match that topics time to time with the examinable document to see whether we are on track or not, right? So this approach is not only important for me, but it is also important for you, so that you can check that whether your tutor is teaching you the concept which are related or not. So all the documents, the exam structure, the aim of your paper, the essential links are supported by the ACCA website. So you can also have a check and balance time to time where we are. If half of the classes are passed, have we studied the half of the syllabus or not? And if we have studied the half of the syllabus, how much practice we have done during the class? So you can obviously the passing of paper is not only the effort by the teacher only, but it is the effort and contribution by the students as well. So your contribution is very important for me. Your contribution during the class is very important for me. I often ask question during the class, and I also expect, if you do not understand any question, any topic, any concept, please stop me and ask, ma'am, please explain this again, right? You can chat me. Chat box is available in front of your screens, here. You can chat me here. Here. Just give me a moment. Right? Okay. Once we will start with our session, then we will also create a WhatsApp group of this class, so that all of you student, if, as you know, we have only one class during the week. If you have any question any time when you are revising your lecture, you can, if you feel that one topic is weak, one topic that you do not understand one thing, you do not or you do not understand one concept, then you can WhatsApp me on that group. So I will respond to you immediately about your query, right? And I will send you the audio messages for the for the revision of that concept, so that you are clear with the concept before the next class. Our class practice will always be like Like if we will study one area today, then we will definitely practice the question of that area in our next class. First we will cover the planned syllabus content, and then we will practice the previous class concepts. So it is very important and necessary. I believe all the participants of this class are job holders, and they have only time to get themselves prepare in this session. The most of the time they spend in the session will help to prepare for the exam. They may have very less time after the class, because I believe you have jobs and then you have 3 hour class, and maybe you are also studying 1 or 2 papers along with this paper. So my preference is that you are only required to revise the lecture once after the class and before the new class. I will make sure that we will practice maximum question in our class, right? After the expiry of the tenure, which is allowed by the Hamza Academy to us in the April, when we are done with the whole syllabus, when we are done with the question bank, then I will share you short notes just to have a quick review of your syllabus, right? Again, if we are free by the end of the April, then uh, there may be a time in between your exam, or a gap between your exam, the ending of the syllabus, and in your exam there may be 30 days gap, 1 month gap. In that time I will plan a mock exam, and then we will also coordinate time to time through that WhatsApp group. If we need any topic of revision, then we can conduct that. So this is all my strategy that I use to prepare my students. But you can get maximum from me if you will also take interest, also take part in the class, also participate in the class, right? Now you have paid to the Hamza Academy assigned you a tutor. Now it's your turn to get maximum benefit from your tutors, not from the tutor of the corporate and business law, but from the all tutors if you are carrying other classes as well, right? So these are the key things that we will follow during our classes. So let's start with the objective of our class. The very first session, the introduction class, the orientation session. All right. Okay, the very first topic, the very first objective of our first introductory class is structure of ACCA qualification. What is the structure of ACCA qualification? Okay. Can you see the new screen on the new screen, which is the structure of ACCA? Okay, please, all of you respond me once so that I can I can understand that you are all are listening to me, and you all can see the screens, and you are not having any problem uh, in the class. Okay. Okay, our ACCA qualification is divided into three parts. All right. First is applied knowledge. Second is applied skills, and third is strategic professionals. Right. Okay. Students who are taking the corporate and business law exam is basically at stage 2 of our ACCA qualification. I believe you have done with the applied knowledge, and now you are studying the papers of applied skills. So corporate and business law is the part of second stage of ACCA qualification. All papers of applied knowledge is compulsory. All papers of applied skills is compulsory, and corporate and business law is the fourth paper. And then you have to do a ethics module on the ACCA portal. And then the last stage, which is strategic professional stage, in which you have to study two essential papers and two out of these options, right? Once that means in total you have to complete 14 papers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 papers. 3 from here, 6 from here, 9, 2 from here, 11, and 2 from here. Sorry, it's 13 papers, right? And 14 month is the ethics and professional module. Once you are done these stages, then you will get through with your ACCA qualification, right? And after your qualification, you are required to have a practical experience of 3 years in a relevant work, right? Okay. What is important for us is our paper fall in the applied skills level, the second stage of the ACCA qualification. Okay. The next objective of our class is aim of the corporate and business law. Why we are studying the corporate and business law? Okay. What is the aim of the paper? The general aim of law is the development of knowledge and understanding about the general legal framework within which an accountant operates, right? Okay. It has to be emphasized that law does not aim to make candidates into lawyer. Why we need to understand the paper law in this qualification is not to make you lawyer, but give you the understanding of the basic framework, is the basic legal framework in which you will operate, right? uh, Let me explain you like this. If you are apply for a job and you become an employee, then what rights, duties, responsibilities you can have according to the act of your country is the law, right? So you need to understand what rights you have, what right through what rights you can get the benefit, and through what rights your employer can get the benefits, right? Obviously, if you have a job, then it is your right to have a equal opportunity, to have an equal pay. You should not have any discrimination. So how you would understand it? By studying the legal framework in which you are working as an employee, right? Secondly, when you are employed in a company, then obviously there is a environment of different positions working for the mission and vision of the organization, right? So in that atmosphere, you will obviously, as per your job position, are required to deal with your senior management, with your junior management, with the outsiders of the company, to make several type of contracts to operate a business. So how these contracts will be formed, and if any of the party, you or the outsider, if breaks the contract, how you can claim the damages. Obviously, if a contract will be breached, you will have some damages, you will have some loss. So how you will recover that loss, this paper will tell us. And at third point, my third example is why we are studying law in this qualification. Is the example of that is like, you form a business. What are the legal requirement to form a business, right? What are the legal requirement to form a business? How a business will be operative if the legal requirements are not fulfilled? If someone start the business without fulfilling the legal requirements, what damages or what fines or what penalties that person who allows to start the business without legal formalities will be imposed, we will understand these penalties, these fines, these damages in this paper, right? So my fourth example is, if you find that there is something wrong in the dealing with the manager, with the outsider of the business, with the stakeholders of the company, then where we have to take our dispute, in which court we have to go, in how we will get the justice, what is the procedure of getting this justice, in all capacities, in the capacity of an employee, in the capacity of an employer, in the capacity as a company, if we are having a contract with another company or vendor or stakeholder. So this is why we are studying this paper. And when we are working in an office environment, we have several different colleagues. So there are some moral values of working, right, in which ethics fall, and there are some important values of the working which you are bound to follow, which are rules, which are laws that you are bound to follow, which are that the fraudulent activities, the criminal activities, the activities which can harm the business, harm your employer. So these are the criminal activities, these are the criminal behaviors, these are fraudulent activities. So if any of your colleague, any of your senior member, any of your junior member is involved in such type of activity, then how you will deal with that, to whom you will report that, right? And if you will, if by having, you are having the knowledge and you are not reporting that criminal fraudulent activity, then how you will be punished for that? So these things are important to understand to work in a professional life. So now I hope you will understand why we are studying the law paper in the ACCA qualification. I hope I have made myself clear. So the objective of this paper is not to become the lawyers, but to have the understanding of legal framework. What's that? The understanding of general legal framework within which an accountant operates. Are you with me? You all are with me? Okay, I have make myself clear. Good, very good. Your response is the only key to understand, for my understanding, that you are with me and you are understanding what I am saying. So please respond whenever I ask, are you with me? Are you understanding? I am making myself clear. Please respond, because yes, I am speaking, I am conveying, but I am not getting, I cannot see your faces, I cannot hear you as frequent as I am speaking. So I need to understand that I am making myself clear, right? So your communication is very important for me. This is the only source that will tells me that you are understanding what I am saying, right? Okay, the next objective of our class is exam essentials, link with the other paper. Okay, okay. The heading of this article in front of you is how to approach corporate and business law, right? Okay. What is law about? The aim of the corporate and business law syllabus is to develop our core level of knowledge and skill around a journal legal framework in the context of a business. I have already explained this thing why we are studying the ACCA paper. We are studying the law paper in the ACCA qualification. Okay. The next is law and overview. Okay. Develop an understanding of, I'm here at this point, develop an understanding of corporate fraudulent and criminal behavior, right? Let's start from this point. Essentials of the UK legal system, including the court system and sources of law. Actually, our whole syllabus is divided into sub parts. The very first part is will give you the understanding of the court systems in the UK, the civil court structure, the criminal court structure, and before that structures you have to understand why we need law, how it is originated, how it is developed over time, and what are the branches of the law, right? So this is the very first area of our syllabus, which is essential elements of the UK legal system, including the court structure and sources of law. So this area is further divided into two areas: court system and sources of law. The second area is the law of obligation. It again have two parts: contract and the tort, right? When you are living your professional life, then you have to make some contracts with the persons around you or the businesses around you. So these are called the contracts. So the law of obligations, the law of responsibilities, the law of performances is the contract and tort. The second area is the law relating to the employment. How you will find a job if you are employed, then what are your rights, responsibilities, obligation, what the rights, responsibilities and obligation your employer have, how if you are dismissed by your job, then you have a legal right to go to the court and claim the employer if he dismissed you unfairly without any just reason. So what are these grounds, how this justice will be sought, will be studied in this law of employment, right? And then formation and constitution of business organization, in which we have four areas: agency, what are the agency, what is the partnership, what is the corporation, and how the corporation, companies, agencies and partnership will be formed. This area will give you the legal framework how a business will be formed. A sole proprietor, agency relationship. What is the agency relationship? Is someone, if someone is working on your behalf, then he is your agent. How this relationship will be formed, legally formed, how a partnership will be legally formed, how a company will be legally formed, how a agency relation, a partnership, a company is different from each other, how a sole trader will operate, right? How these business will be established, and what are the jurisdiction of these businesses, and what is the legal framework to establish these businesses will be, we will understand this area in formation and constitution of the businesses, right? The next on the next of this, when we will study how the companies will be formed, the very related area which is relevant to this part is when we have decided that we are going to form a business, whether it is a sole proprietor, whether it is a partnership, whether it is a company, then we need to arrange its capital and the financing of the company. When we have capital, then we have to manage this business through management, through different officers, through company's registrar, through company secretaries, through board of directors. So the very first step, formation, this formation. Second, the financing. Third, the operations of the business. And third, if business is unable to operate, if business is unable to meet its liability, then the life of the business will come to an end. So the fourth area is how the business lives will come to an end, how businesses will become insolvent, will be liquidated, right? Insolvent mean when the company is unable to meet its debts. We will I know I'm using different very technical terms, but these terms will be explained very briefly and very briefly in our all classes, right? Insolvency means if the assets of the company are decreased, are unable to meet its liability. When the assets of the company reduced from the liability, we say that now the company is unable to meet its obligation. Now the company is unable to pay the salaries, unable to pay the creditor, unable to repay the loans, unable to pay the dividend to the shareholders. Now these are the liabilities of the company. If company is unable to meet its liabilities, then we will say these companies are insolvent. So the life of that business will be end, right? Okay. At the end, after the completion of this area, so you can say that this area is related to Companies Act, and the very last area is develop an understanding of corporate, fraudulent and criminal behavior in all the elements of the syllabus. First, criminal and fraudulent behavior in contracts, criminal and fraudulent behavior in employment law, criminal and fraudulent behavior in formation of the company and in the life of the company. So this is the overview of our paper. I hope I'm making myself clear. Okay. The next is steps to success, right? Okay. Very one, first, if possible, study with an approved learning partner and use approved learning content. Study the whole syllabus, practice exam, ensure you are competent working in a computer-based exam environment, right? Then attempt at least 2 full exams under exam condition and debrief your answers, then focus your study on weaker areas. Book your CB exam in advance at one of the on-demand CB center, right? Here, okay, the article, the page which is in front of your screen is taken from the ACCA website and it is available there. You can see the link. So this is the link. I'll try to copy it. You can so this is the approved content taken from the ACCA website to make you understand what we are studying and what the examiner are expecting from me. So now the examiner is giving you the steps how you will pass the exam. First, study with the approved learning partner. Second, complete all syllabus. Third, practice the questions. Fourth, uh, try to work with a computer based working exam environment. Fifth, before you sit in the exam, try to attempt at least 2 mock exams or mock paper on your mocks on your exam pattern, so that you can have understanding how examiner will trick you during the paper. Obviously, the examiner will not ask the straight questions, right? Examiner will definitely trick you. So how you will understand the tricks of the examiner if you have if you attempt 2 mock exam before your paper in exam environment, right? And obviously, for all these things, you have to book your exams. Okay. In our course plan, we have already scheduled 2 tests and 2 mock exams before our exams. So if you are with me in the class, I'll try my level best to prepare you maximum for the paper. So in my course plan, there are 2 mock exams available that we will practice during and after the completion of the steps. The next point is key sources. What are the key sources to pass your exam? Is examining team guidance to law, the one guidance we are studying. Practice tests, specimen exams, which are mock exams, technical articles. Okay. As you know that the ACCA is develop a ACCA global website on which the examiner of different papers of all papers put their articles time to time so that they can give you the idea how they are going to test you. So this is the tip for the overall qualification of ACCA, that regularly go on your portals, go to your website and read the related article of the papers that you are opting for the upcoming sessions. So the exam articles are very important. Okay. Guide to an on-demand CBE, how to book an on-demand exam and on-demand center list. Obviously, whenever you want to go for a paper, you can request the exam, and you can also request the center of your choice as well. The list of centers is available on the ACCA Global website. You can go there and you can select your center, and you can select the month of your exam, and then you can appear in your exam. Okay. Before telling you the exam pattern, okay, tackling the exam. Your exam will be 100 marks exam divided into two parts, right? Section A and section B. That is it. I hope you can see this tackling the exam. Okay. Your exam is divided into two sections. Your paper is 100 marks paper divided into two sections. Section A is of 70 marks and section B is of 30 marks. Section A has two parts: objective test OT questions, each worth 2 marks. That means this area is of 50 marks. And part 2 of section A is 20 objective test questions, each worth 1 mark. So 50 plus 20. In total, it will become 70. So there are two areas, section, there are two, your paper, your 100 marks, total marks of your paper is 100. And this is divided into two sections. One is section A and second is section B. Section A is 70 marks, in which you have uh, 25 question of 2 marks and 20 questions of 1 mark. In total, the section A will have 70 marks. What are the tips to solve objective type questions? Read the question very carefully. Think before answering. Don't rush. If not sure, eliminate other answers to help find the correct answer. Answer all question even if unsure of the answer. Very first rule of attempting your exam is to read question carefully. Second, do not rush to answer your question. Understand the question, think on it, and then answer the question. So you have 100 marks paper, and you have 120 minutes to solve to have that 100 marks. So you can say that you have 1.2 minute per mark, right? 1.2 minute per mark. So do not rush to answer the question. Read it carefully, understand what examiner is asking, understand how examiner is tricking you, and then answer. Okay, this is the straight approach to answer your exam. There is a reverse approach to answer your exam. If you are not sure about answer, so what you have to do, you are required to use the elimination method. So okay, this option is not related, fine. You okay, 1 from 4 is out, so you have to select in between 3. Then again you will eliminate one more option, then you have to select from 2, and in between 2, if you will select one option that is most obvious, then there are more chances to mark the correct answer. So you can use this backward approach or elimination method when you are not sure. Okay, the fourth point is whether you are sure about a question or you are not sure about a question, you have to attempt all questions. Clear? Okay, this is about section A. Now, section B is of 30 marks, 5 6-mark multiple task questions, each containing a scenario and a series of related tasks. Okay, section B, you will have the case study, you will have a scenario, and then there are 5 to 6 questions relating to that scenario. So, what will the procedure of our class? We will have the understanding of a concept, and then we will study the example relating to that concept. That examples are called case references, right? So one concept and related case. Okay, the section A of your paper will have statement type question. What is this concept? What is that concept? What is the meaning of this? What is the element of this? This is section A. But in section B, the exam scenario, the scenarios, the examples, the case laws that we will study as a reference to understand our concept, the similar scenario will be given in your exam. And what you have to do, the concept that you have understand, you have to apply that concept on the scenario and then answer the questions. So section A, statement type questions, options, and you have to write one or two right options. Section B, the scenario, the case study, right, in which you have to apply the understanding of the concepts. Clear? Okay, what are the tips to handle the multiple task questions? Are read and ensure you understand the scenario. Read the question carefully. Think before answer. Answer all the question. Attempt exam standard questions as possible along with the practice test and specimen exams. Is this clear? Is this article is clear? This is already also available on your ACCA global website. Okay. Okay. Can I move to the next objective of the class? Please have a look on this article, and if you have any question, you can ask. Okay. Clear? Can we move towards the next objective of the class? Yes, good. Okay. The next objective of the class is examinable documents. 4. Okay. Okay. The examinable documents are available on the ACCA Global website. The link is also available here. I'll try to copy it on your screens so that you can check this. Okay. Please copy paste this link on your screen, on your systems, whether you are using the mobile, the laptop, or the system, whatever you are using. Please copy this link, as this link will be removed when I will switch off the class, right? Okay. Examinable documents which are effective for mm, September 2021 to August 2022. Right? Okay, corporate and business law, English variant, knowledge of the new examinable regulation and legislation issued by 30 August will be examinable in the examination session being held in the following calendar year. Document may be examinable even if the effective date is in future. This means that all
Ma'am,
regulations. Yeah.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt. I had an internet connection problem and I couldn't hear what you said about the links.
Okay. I hope you can hear me now. I have just
Yes,
said
I can.
in the chat box, I have just copied a link, right? This link is of ACCA website where your examinable documents are available. So please copy paste this link on your mobile, on your laptop, or your system. Please, the objective is that please save this link, because if once I will switch off the class, this chat will be removed from you as well. So please copy this link right now so that you can have the record. Basically, this is the address where this examinable document is available.
Okay,
Right?
thank you. Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, this means that all regulation and legislation issued by 30th August 20 will be examinable for corporate law and law global variant from 1st September 2020 until 31st September. Basically, here the ACCA guiding team is guiding us about the content of the syllabus, which are changed year by year. So the syllabus, the content which I am showing to you, which I have shared with you in the chat box, is the examinable document till the August 2022, right? Okay. Now let's uh, let's have the knowledge about the very first content of our syllabus, and what we will study in that area is here at English legal system. The very first area that we are going to study, that we will initiate after a few minutes in this class, is English legal system, in which what we will understand the uh, knowledge of civil procedures, Rule Act 1998, the Constitutional Reform Act 2005. What are the civil procedures? How the matters are deal? How how the problems are solved? This will be studied in the English legal system. The second area is law for obligation, in which we will study the Unfair Contract Term Act, Contract Right of Third Parties Act 1999, and Consumer Act 2015. In employment law, we will study the Employment Right Act 1996, the Employment Tribunal Constitution and Rules Procedure Regulation 2003, the Unfair Dismissal and Statement of Reasons for Dismissal Order 2012, the Enterprise and Regulatory Reform Act 2013, and Small Business Enterprise and Employment Act 2005. After that, we will study the partnership, in which we will study the Partnership Act 1890, Limited Partnerships Act 1907, the Limited Liability Partnerships and the Civil Liability, and then company law. In company law, we will study the Companies Act 2006 and Director Disqualification Act 1986, this and this, Insolvency Act and Employment Act 2015, then Corporate and Fraudulent Behavior Criminal Act, Criminal Justice Act 1993, the Proceeds of Criminal Act 2002, the Money Laundering Regulation 2017, and the Financial Service and Market Act 2000, Knowledge of the Bribery Act 2020, 2010, Crime and Courts Act 2013, Crime and Finances Act 2017, and the in relation to failure to prevent the facilitation of tax evasion. So we have just to relate it, as we have just have the overview of our syllabus, that we will understand the following 5 to 6 areas. Now this example documents will tell us what acts, what rules, and what regulations we will study in those areas, right? Okay. Next, we will study all these acts in detail during the coverage of syllabus. What is the next class objective? Syllabus content. We are on syllabus content number 5. Yes. Okay. Sorry, just give me a minute. I just want to copy this link to your screens as well. Just give me a minute. I think that link is only sent to Lubna. Lubna, the previous link I have sent to you only by mistake. Please send in the group, so the all can have the access to that link as well. Please send it. Send it to everyone. Is that the previous link? Yes. Okay. Okay, students, you have two links in the chat box, right? You all got that? Please confirm. If not, then I will share the links again. Okay, very good. Okay. Now, this is the syllabus, the syllabus of your paper in detail. Please have a look on that. The very first part, the English legal system. In English legal system, law and legal system, how sources of law, how the law is originated, the law of obligation formation, how a contract will be formed, what are the content of that contract, and how this contract can be breached, and what remedies, compensations are available for the parties who suffered loss, and then law of tort and professional negligence. This is about the journal dealing of persons dealing with each other, and this is about professional ethics. Then employment law, what is the contract of employment and how the contract of employment is come to an end, the dismissal, how the employees can be dismissed, and how the employees are made redundant, free of job, and what are the compensation available for the dismissed employees and the redundant employees, and if employee feels that they have dismissed from the job and they are redundant due to the misunderstanding or any and misunderstanding of the employer, then they have right to go to the court and claim for the justice. And then the formation and constitution of the business organization, partnership, agency law, the agency law, the partnership, the corporate and legal personality, the formation and constitution of the company, and then capital and financing of the company, how the capital is arranged for a company, a share capital, a loan capital, and once a company will have the share and loan capital, how this capital will be managed. And after the arrangement of the finance, there is an area of the management of the companies. The company will be managed by the company directors and the other company officers, which are called the registrar of the company, the secretary of the company, the chairman of the company. So the treasurer of the company, the accountant of the company, the auditor of the company, and then how they will make the decisions about the company. Obviously, they make the decision through meetings, creating consensus in the meetings and by resolutions. And then insolvency, how the company will come to an end. In two cases, when the company is unable to meet its debt, it is called the insolvent company. And before its liquidation, before its ending, it has given a chance of administration, a chance that to provide a strategy through which a company will become into the operations again. Then corporate and legal failure, corporate fraudulent and criminal behavior, right? So this is the detail of our syllabus. Please go through with this. Have a look on this syllabus area. Okay, can we move forward? Can we move forward? Okay. Okay. The next objective of our class is detailed syllabus. I'll just open it. Sorry. It's the detailed syllabus. Let me copy this link on your screens as well. I want you to please study this detailed syllabus. I have explained it. Just study the detailed syllabus. We are understanding what is the content, what acts we are going to study, what particular topics we are going to study, and now this is the detail of the each and every topic. Just read it. I have already explained it, and we will done these topics one by one. Study part A first. Read part A first. Then part B. In part B, A1. Okay. Then 2 and 3 of part B. 4 of part B. Then part C, contract of employment, and from here then this. Then this D, 1 and 2. Then this and this. This 4. This. Loan capital and this. This. This and this. And this is the last. Okay. So you read this? You all read this? You all read this? Can we move towards the next objective of the class? Okay. the exam, the 7.7, the exam. We have also brief introduction of our exam. Let me open it in front of you again. Okay. This is your exam. 2 sections. Section A is of 70 marks. Section 2 of 30 marks. You have 120 minutes for 100 marks. That means 1.2 minute per mark. All right. Next is course plan. Okay. There is an error. Let's scroll. Corporate and business law. This is the strategy how we will complete our syllabus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, total 17 classes. And in the last class, we will have one more question, and after that class, we will have another more question. So by following the guidelines of the ACCA team, we have planned 2 exams, right? And you see, every part of your syllabus is our planning. Essentials element of the legal system. It will be covered into the 2 classes, and then the law of obligation. It will be covered into 1, 2, 3, 4 classes. Sorry, 5, 6 classes, 5 classes till this 7th, and then Part C, employment law, will be covered in the 1 class, and then there will be a test of 3 areas, A, B, and C. After 2nd March, we will have a test of 3 major areas, and then for Part D, the formation and constitution of the business organizations, and then Part E will be covered into 2 classes, and then Part F in 1 class, Part G of your syllabus in 2 classes, this one, and then Part H in 1 class. And after that there will be a mock exam. Clear? So this is the course plan. I hope this course plan is shared with you, and if not, I'll try to send it in this class. Let me check if I can attach a file. No. Oh, okay. I cannot attach this file in the chat box, but you will get this course plan from the Hamza Academy, received by mail. Okay. Hamza Academy already sent you this course plan by email, right? So this is the course plan. This is the strategy, and very important thing that I want to understand you that this is our first introductory class, how you will track your syllabus. First introductory class in which all the 10 objective of this class is mentioned, right? And then in the second class, we will study the sources of law. In our third class, after the coverage of this syllabus area, this syllabus area, formation of contract area, we have a session of practice question. Practice of which area? This area, English legal system, this introduction of first topic, English legal system and sources of law, right? So in our fourth class, we again have a practice session. Practice session of which area? The area we have covered in the previous class. Clear? So I have planned my all classes just to deliver you the concepts, give you the with the help of the examples, and then practice session of the concept we have done in the previous class. So this is why I'm saying that I want to prepare you maximum in the class for your exam. So you have to spend less time after the class on your on this paper. Clear? Okay. After the course plan, the next is what is the class technique. Point 9 is the class technique. Okay. Every class, okay. Every class will start with a list of class objective, and at the end of the class, topic of the next class will be shared. You have course plan, you will tell in which class, in which date, what we are going to study. And then after completion of topic, there will be a practice session. We will practice exam type questions. There will be a WhatsApp group in which we can have interaction regularly. And very important thing, student interaction during class. I have already emphasis on the interaction of the student, as this is the only source of my understanding that you are understanding whatever I am delivering. Okay, now point 10, the law lecture, the very first understanding of our first lecture, first topic of the corporate and business law. Before we go for the topic, first topic of the of our syllabus, I just want to confirm any one of you which is repeating this paper, or you are studying this paper for the first time. Hmm. Other two candidates? Okay. What about the Aditi? You studied this paper before, or you are also taking this for the first time? Hmm. Good. Okay. Okay. Uh, do you want to have a break for before the start of the topic, or we can carry on? Break of 10 minutes if you want to relax. Do you need the break of 10 minutes, or we can carry on? Hello, are you with me? Students, are you with me? Do you need a 10 minutes break or we can carry on towards the first topic? Yes, definitely it's okay. Okay. The very first topic of our class is area is the English legal system. Okay, our today's class objective is the topics that we are going to study in today's remaining time is law. What is law? Types of law. What is the civil court structure? The criminal court structure. Civil Procedure Rules Act 1998. European Court of Human Right, the European Court of Justice, and the Privy Council. So we are covering these eight points in our today's remaining class. The topic is the area is English legal system, and now we are going to study the essentials of English legal system. Let's start it by one. Okay, first, what is law? Why it is important for society, and how law developed over time? These are the three questions that we need to answer. First, we need to understand what is law, why it is important for us, and how it is developed over the time. So, okay, uh, let me tell you a story of the very ancient days of the life. Okay, this is the time when there is no rules are available for life. This is the story of the early days of human lives, when the only purpose of people are to have food, to have food by any means. So what they do, they live in groups. Some are strong groups, some are weak groups. So they fight with each other for the sake of food, because they do understand that if they do not have food, they will die. So, for their survival, for their life, they are even ready to kill the weaker party, right? So, this type of war is carrying in between the group of persons. So, what will happen? There is a very thin line between life and death. What was the name of that thin line? Food, the reason of life. They do not know how to live. They do not know how to survive. They do not know what is the importance of society and their nearby people. They only want to have food. The groups who are in power will always win the food, and the weaker persons will die day by day. Then they realize, if this will be the pattern of life, then one day we all will die. We all will kill each other for life. So we need a set of rules through which we can spend our lives. So this set of rule is called the social mechanism. They need a social mechanism, a set of rules to live their life, so that they will not kill each other only for the sake of food. They must have some rules to live, right? They must have some rules to live. So they decided rules. How? In the groups, they nominated some intelligent persons, they nominated some worthy persons just to decide among their disputes. These persons are called the kings who ordered something, and the other persons of that society are bound to follow that rules, right? So they nominate some persons which are different from them, which have some different skills from them. So they call them king, they call them judges. Who are those? Those who will give the rules and who will help the society to implement those rules. So the very first thing, they need a set of rules. How? Just to just to govern, just to run, just to operate a human society, right? These set of rules initiated in the very ancient days of life, and then they developed day by day according to need. Even as of today, they are still developing with the new requirements of society. So the process of their realization of having a controlled society and the development of these controlled rules are called the law and the development of law. So coming to the screen that you are seeing on your coming to the screens. Okay, law is a set of rules that are required to govern the human society that develop over 1,000 years. Okay, now what is the story? In the early days of human existence, survival was achieved by working as group. There was very fine line between life and death. Human kills their fellow humans for food. They realize that they need a social order to live life for life. There must be some rules of life. By following those rules, we can have idea how to interact with each other, with individual, and how businesses will operate. So what two things they realize? First, that they should not kill each another for the sake of food, and second, for the life they must have some businesses through which they can earn food instead of fight or instead of killing, right? Okay, then what was introduced? A social control mechanism was introduced. Social control mechanism, there are two branches of social control mechanism. First is formal control mechanism and second is informal control mechanism. The formal control mechanism is called law. The informal control of mechanism is called ethics. Law is provided structure to deal with disputes, to setting the procedure to stop the dispute and discourage the arising of dispute. Okay. The very first branch of the social control mechanism is law, formal control mechanism. Okay, formal control mechanism has given you the set of rules that you have to follow. You have no choice not to follow those rules. You have to follow those rules. If you will not follow those rules, then the state, then the king, then the implementers of that law will punish you. So the formal control mechanism, law, that you have to follow. And what is the objective of law? First, to guide you, to guide you to how to deal with the dispute arising in between two persons, in between different groups, in between different societies. And second, give you the procedure how to deal with the dispute. And third, not only the dealing of dispute, but also discouraging the arising of that type of dispute in future. That means if someone is wrongdoer, if someone is guilty, then state will punish him to set an example in the society, that so that that wrong act will not be conducted in future. So what is the purpose of law? Not only give you the method, the procedure of solving the disputes, but also discourage the dispute arising in the future. Clear? Okay. The second part of the social control mechanism is the informal control mechanism, which is ethics. It is better to follow. Ethics is something which are the moral values. So these moral values, in these moral values, it is better you follow it. If you will not follow it, no one will punish you, but some society has responsibility to teach you on these moral value, so that you will follow them by your will. Clear? This formal and informal mechanism is clear to you? Okay. Okay. Law is the set of rules that society has to follow, and if society do not follow rule, it will be punished. Clear? Okay, now law is clear. Law is clear. Law is a part of formal control mechanism, right? It is the set of rule. What is the main distinction between the formal and informal mechanism? In formal mechanism, there is law which you have to follow, right? And the informal control mechanism is ethics which society teach you to follow, but if you do not follow it, no one will punish you. So this is the distinction between the formal and informal control system. Okay, our area of study is law, the formal control mechanism. Now we understand that why we need a law, right? And now we are going to study what are the types of the law. First is common law and equity. Second is statute law. Third is private and public law. And fourth is criminal and civil law, right? Okay. What are these laws? Okay. Equity law. Sorry, common law. Common law is the very first law which was introduced, which is developed for the common people, right? It is the very early stage of law when the law was introduced. Basically, it is in which the general public, the groups nominated some people, some intelligent from them, some persons who have different expertise from the journal people. So what they did, they nominate the kings, and they decided whatever king will order, all the persons will have to follow that, his rules. So how the king operate, or how the king implement its law? Again, king makes some subordinates, some subordinate, which is called judges. So what the judges will do? Judges will travel around the country of that king, and assess anyone who is not following the orders of the king. And if they find anyone who is not following the orders of the king, they punish them. So common law is made for the common persons, for the common businesses of life, and it is the very early system it has rigid rules which is run by kings, and king implement their orders by their judges who travel around the country and observe whether the orders of the kings are followed or not. If there is no following of the orders of the king, there is no peace. There are harsh consequences. They punish them. How they punish them? They see if someone has some loss by some other person, then this loss must be compensated, which is called monetary remedies. Remedy mean compensation against the loss. So this is the very first type of law, which is called the common law. Clear? Second, equity law. Equity applies where money is not suitable remedy. Introduces fairness and justice. Equities damages example of uniqueness. Okay, what is the equity law? Okay, firstly we have understand that common law only give the compensation against the monetary losses, monetary losses, and they provide the monetary remedies. But there is a development in the common law which make the common law into the equity law, which give the better procedure in the equity law. Common law only give the compensation of the monetary loss, but equity law also add the concept of fairness in the common law. The equity law said monetary loss is not only loss that a person can have. A person can also have the loss of feelings. The loss of feelings. Although feelings does not exist, but it has very important, feelings are very important for someone. So monetary loss is not only the loss, but in some scenario where monetary compensation is not valid, there must be a concept of fairness. Okay, now the example of uniqueness. Okay, this is a very famous example which are quoted on various places. That means if I went to a exhibition where I like a painting which reminds me about my child. Okay, now I want to buy this painting just because this painting is unique and this painting reminds me about my childhood. So my feelings are attached with the uniqueness of that painting, right? Okay, what I do the token money, the advance money to the owner of that painting and say, hold that painting for me. I will buy that painting. I will pay the whole amount tomorrow and get this painting from you because this painting is very unique. This painting reminds me about my childhood. Okay. The next day when I came, the next day when I came, the owner of that painting had already sold that painting to someone else. So do I have any monetary loss? Obviously, the advance money which I have given to the owner, he can return that. The common law said the advance money which I have given to the owner of the painting will be returned to me. But do you think that return of advance money will satisfy me? No. Why? Because I do not want to buy this only a painting. I just want to buy this painting for its uniqueness, because it I have some special feelings of my childhood attached with that painting. So the common law says that if the owner of the painting will return my advance money to me, then it is the compensation of my loss. But the equity law said no, it is not the fairness. Fairness say I should get that painting at any cost, because any painting of the world, maybe maybe not satisfy my that wish or the memories of my childhood. So I should get that painting back. So the equity law will say, get that painting from the third party and sold it to me. So what is the difference between common law and equity law? First, common law only compensate the monetary losses. Second, the equity law introduces the fairness. So common law and equity law is clear to you? Common law and equity law is clear to all of you? Come on, do let me know. Okay. The next is statute law. Statute law made by different judges, group of different mind people having different skills, make law who society observes. Law is the group of judges, parliament, which is called the statute law. Okay, what is the statute law? Okay, let's start from the common law. Common law is a very early stage of law which give the compensation of the monetary loss. Then equity was introduced. The equity law was introduced, which focuses on the fairness, the concept of fairness. And then after the introduction of the concept of fairness, the groups think there are so many other matters which need special skills. So what they do, they made different judges. They nominate different judges. They nominate different people having different skill sets. So what they are doing, they collect different people with different skill set. They make a pool. So this pool is called the statute, the parliament. So you are familiar with the word parliament these days, in which the electees of the general public are nominated. So there are the nomination of the general public who are the members of the parliament. Anything which is decided in the parliament with the help of different skill set, with the different judges, with the persons having different skill set, is called the statute law. So what is the link? Common law only the compensation of monetary law. Equity law introduces the concept of fairness, and statute law is introduced when people think there is no only the concept of monetary loss and fairness, but there are also so many branches of life which need guidance to live on. So what they did, they elect the person of different skill set from this group, and anything which is decided by those skill set is called the statute law. And these days the statute laws is the law which is decided by the parliament, and in parliament there are the person elected by the general people who decide the rules for the general persons. Clear? Statute law is clear. Statute law is clear. Okay. Now, the next type is private and public law. Private law. Private law is the law which deal the disputes between individual, businesses, groups, and organization. State provide rules, public made decision by following those rules. State do not get involved, individual effects. Okay. Very first characteristics of private law is it affect the individuals, small group of people. So private law deal with the dispute between individual, businesses, groups, and organization. State, the government of the country provide the rules, and public, the representative of the public, follow those rules and resolve the disputes. State, the government do not get involved directly. Why? Because it only affects the small number of persons, right? It only affects the small number of persons. Now, what is the public law? Public law concerned with the government. See operations, functions of the public organization. Why? Because it affects the general public as a whole. Something which will affect the small number of people, it will be the part of the private law. Something which affect the large number of persons, then it will call the public law. In private law, state only give you the set of rules, and by following those set of rules you have to resolve the dispute. State does not involve themselves, but in public law, as the from the act whole public will be affected, then the state will be get involved and resolve the dispute. Clear? This public and private law is clear. Good. Okay. The next type of law is criminal law. Criminal law is the type of public law. Crime is any act which is prohibited by law. Means you are not allowed to kill anyone, but if you do, it's a crime. First, criminal law is the part of public law, because if any crime is committed, then the whole public will be affected. First. Second, what is crime? Crime is the any act which your law do not allow you to do so. If you do that act which is not allowed in your state, then it is a crime and you will be punished. Second, in crime, society, community affected, and state punish wrongdoer or punish guilty by fine, by imprisonment. Burden of proof is on guilty. Okay. Two things. One, if you commit a criminal law, the whole public will be affected. As criminal law is the part of the public law, because the whole public is affected, the state will be involved and punish the wrongdoer, punish the person who committed the crime. Now, this term is burden of proof is on guilty. What does that mean? It means if I suspect that my neighbor is uh, is uh, my neighbor killed someone, so what I will do, I inform the court, and court now ask from my neighbor that prove that you are not murderer. So my neighbor has to prove that he is innocent or not. He has to provide evidence that he is innocent and he didn't commit any crime. So burden of proof is on guilty. The person who is suspected has to prove that he is innocent. So burden of proof in the criminal law, burden of proof is on the guilty party. And terminology, prosecute and accused. Prosecute and accused. Excuse me. Okay. Terminology which is used in the criminal law is prosecute and accused. Prosecute is the person who is bringing the crime into the attention of the court, and accused is the person who is suspected for that crime. So the terminology used for criminal law is prosecute and accused. Okay, the civil law. Civil law is a type of law. If it is a civil law, that means in the civil wrong only few persons will be affected. Is type of private law, regulate disputes over rights and obligation of the persons dealing with each other, right? No punishment rather than compensation. Party may settle dispute by themselves. Terminology, claimant and defendant. Very first thing, civil law is a private law. Second, it it give you the procedures how to resolve the dispute between each other, how to deal with each other. Second, in the civil law there is no concept of punishment, rather they try to compensate each party. Fourth, party may settle dispute by themselves, but in the private law, state do not get directly involved. Instead, the state will give you the procedure through which you can resolve their own disputes. So the persons in the civil law can resolve their dispute by following the orders of the state. And at the last, the terminology of the civil law is the claimant and defendant. Claimant is the person who is claiming, and defendant is the person who is defending himself. And one more thing that need to be added in the civil law is that the burden of proof is is not on the guilty party, as we have just studied that in the criminal law burden of proof is on guilty, but in the civil of law the case is decided on the balance of probability. No one has to prove himself guilty, but the court makes the probability. What are the chances of wrongdoing, how this wrong act can be conducted. So on the basis of probability, the court will decide who is who is guilty party, right? These types of law is clear. This development of the law over the time is clear to you. Burden of proof mean who will prove he is innocent or who is guilty. So in criminal law, burden of proof is on guilty, that he has to prove that he is innocent, he has not committed any wrong act. So burden of proof, someone who has to prove that he is right or not. Who will prove? So in the criminal law, the guilty will prove that he is innocent. The claim is not right. Clear? Okay. Please take the break of 10 minutes and then we will start again. Burden of proof on civil law is on both parties. For civil law, burden of proof is on both party, on defendant and on claimant both. Both have to give the evidences, both have to give their points, both have to give their opinions, and court will decide on the basis of the evidences provided by both parties. So in criminal law, burden of proof is on guilty, and in civil law, burden of proof is on both parties. Clear? Okay, please take the break of 10 minutes and then we will start with the court structures. Okay, the break of 10 minutes. Okay, can you see the screen? Are you with me? Okay, very good. Can you see me? Can you see the screen? Can you hear me properly? Okay, good, very good. Okay. Very important thing that we are going to study is the civil court structure. A screen you are okay. Okay. The civil court structure. In the civil court structure, the very first court is the magistrate court. Magistrate court mostly deal with the small domestic cases. Now, what is the small domestic cases? These are the cases related to the family, related to the close friends, related to the small matters of the family, relatives, cousins, friends. So, magistrate court is the court in which the domestic matters are resolved in between friends, fellows, relatives, wife and husband, brother, sister, mother, father, mother, father, in which matrimonial cases are deal. In the country, after the magistrate court, okay, after the magistrate court, there is a crown court. In the crown court, uh, in the crown court basically hears appeal from the magistrate court. Now, what is appeal? Appeal is the re-request of the case. For example, if a case is decided in the magistrate court and the related persons are not agree with the decision of the magistrate court, then they can re-request the crown court that consider our case again, right? Consider our case again. So after magistrate court, the senior court is crown court, which do not have its own independent jurisdiction, but crown courts only hears the appeals from the magistrate court. Equivalent to the crown court, there is another court which is called the county court. County court deal with the three divisions. First is contract law, second is tort, third is equitable matter in which money is involved, and fourth is land and probate disputes. Right? So, actually, why we are dividing the court, why we are setting the hierarchy, why we are giving the different courts a different role, because there are so many disputes which cannot be handled by one set of person, by one jury. So, according to their skill set, they have made different divisions, different courts, different panels in which there are different specialists of that field are available. As in the magistrate court, only family matters will be dealt, only domestic matters will be dealt, and the persons, the jury of the magistrate court is specialized in the family matters. And in the county court, the jury, which jury is specialized to deal with the matters of contract, tort, equitable matters, land matters, bank matters. So there, all the courts have different jurisdiction according to their different skill set. Clear? So county court deal with the contract, tort, equitable matter, land, probate, and bank matters. Clear? After the tort is a civil wrong. Okay. Tort is not a crime, right? On tort, we have a complete chapter, right? For now, for your understanding, tort is a civil crime in which your action may impact your friend, right? Your negligence may cause some loss, some harm to your friend. So if your friend have some loss due to your action, then he can claim you under the law of tort, that my friend's action harmed me. So what your friend has to prove? He has to prove that he owes a duty of care. How he owes a duty of care? Because he is your friend and he has some expectations from you, right? So this is taught. We have a complete we have studied about the law of obligations. In the one content of our syllabus is law of obligation, in which there are two laws, law of contract and law of tort, right? Tort is not a crime, tort is a civil wrong. When you do not follow the ethics, when you do not follow the informal control mechanism. Clear? Okay. The next is, after the county court, there is a high court, which is superior than crown court, which is superior than magistrate court, which is superior than county court. It has three divisions: QBD, Queen Bench Division, Family Division, and Chancery Division. Okay, now what is the High Court? I am here. The High Court is divided into three special divisions: Queen Bench Division, Family Division, and Chancery Division. Queen Bench Division with Family Division, we deal with the appeals of Magistrate Court and County Court. Clear? High Court has three divisions: QBD, Family, and Chancery. By name, it is clear that Family Division hears the appeal from Magistrate Court because it hears the family matters. The QBD division deal with the contract and tort, and the Chancery Division will deal with the land matter and equity matters. Clear? So cases who are dealt in the Crown Court, Magistrate Court, and County Court, the appeals of both can be heard in the High Court, and High Court has different three divisions: Queen Bench Division, Family Division, and Chancery Division. Queen Bench Division deal with the appeals of County Court, County Court's area of contract and tort, and Chancery Division deal with the County Court's area of land and equity. Clear? Equivalent to the High Court, there is an employment tribunal, employment appeal tribunal, in which the cases related to employment are dealt. If you have any problem with your employer or your employer have any problem with you, they will take their case to the employment tribunal, and the appeals of employment tribunal will be heard in the employment appeal tribunal, and this employment appeal tribunal is equivalent to High Court of every state, right? Every state. Now, after the employment appeal tribunal and High Court, the senior court is Court of Appeal, right? What Court of Appeal do? Court of Appeal hears appeal from employment tribunal, from employment tribunal, from High Court, and from County Court. And after the Court of Appeal, the most higher court is the Supreme Court. So the cases came and resolved in the pyramid form. So many cases resolved at their own courts, and very few, very rare nature cases are came into the Supreme Court, which is the higher court of the state. Now, equivalent to the Supreme Court of every state, three other courts are working. First, European Court of Human Rights. Second, the Privy Council. And third, the European Court of Justice. Now, what are these? Let's understand this. European Court of Human Rights. Okay, what are the European Court of Human Rights? European Court of Human Rights basically work for the Human Right Act, which was introduced in the 1998 under the UK, and some countries agrees with the act into the Human Right Act introduced by the company. So they make a convention. They develop a consensus that for some countries who agree on the Human Right Act of UK will work under the European Court of Human Rights. Supreme Court of European State who signed European Convention of Human Rights. Any individual who alleges that his right is violated can being an action against the responsible. So European Court of Human Rights equally work as the Supreme Court of any country. So you can see the European Court of Human Rights work equivalent to the Supreme Court. Then next is Privy Council, Court of Appeal of Commonwealth countries. Their decisions are also important to cases heard in the UK, as they have persuasive influence over hearing concerning point of law applicable under the UK and under the UK's jurisdiction. Okay, you see that one country have some trades with other countries, right? And if there is obviously in UK, if there are some different rules, then in Africa there may be some other rules. So what will happen when the rules of two countries will conflict? So for the dealing of the dispute between two countries, a Privy Council will work. So Privy Council will work. So equivalent to the Supreme Court of every country, a Privy Council operates, which resolve the dispute of one country with the other country. Clear? And then European Court of Justice. European Court of Justice is basically protects the right of interpretation of law. Okay. Once a law is formed, that law must be interpreted where in detail so that the implementers of that law will understand that law, and if they understand it properly, then they will be able to interpret it on different scenarios. So different countries who have the consensus with each other in the law, they also present their members in the European Court of Justice who work for the interpretation of law. They interpret the law in a context that law can be used in different countries with the same meaning. Right? Right? So again, in every state, along with the Supreme Court, European Court of Justice, Privy Council, and European Court of Justice will operate. Clear? Now, very simple criminal law, and then we will wind up the class. Are you clear with the civil court structure? No, it is only concerned with the European countries who have consensus over the laws, not globally. For European countries, for European Convention. Right? Okay. Now, the criminal law, criminal court structure. Again, the magistrate court, in the magistrate court summary offenses and committal proceeding for indictable offenses. Summary means small offenses, and indictable committal proceeding for indictable offenses mean this is the attempt to commit a big crime. So in the magistrate court, committal for trial, committed for sentence and first instance. First, committal for trial, they try to crime. Second, they plan to try. And third, they crime and came into the court for the first time. So in the magistrate court, summary offenses are deals, which are small offenses. Then after these small offenses, there is a crown court. In crown court, try serious criminal indictable offenses, and here appeal from magistrate court. Crown court, in crown court, which type of offenses are dealt? Serious nature, right? And after the crown court, there is a one division of high court, which is QBD, in which deal with the contract and tort. If the breach of contract and tort is of illegal nature, then it will come into the Queen Bench division of the High Court. So in the criminal court structure, other two divisions are irrelevant. Only QBD is relevant. And after the QBD, there is a court of appeal who hears the appeal from the Queen Bench division. And after the court of appeal, there is a Supreme Court. The criminal court structure is clear. Okay, I am done with my today's objective. One objective is left. which is civil proceeding. We will do it in our next class. Only one objective of today's class is left, which is civil procedure. Rest, law is clear, type of law is clear, civil court structure, criminal court structure, European Court of Human Rights, European Court of Justice and Privy Council is clear. Only one objective is remaining, which we will do in our next class. Clear? Okay, if you have any question in the lecture, you can ask. You will have notes, the detailed notes of Hamza Academy with you, and you will also have this short notes with you in the WhatsApp group that will be created right after that class and for the registered students, right? If you have any suggestion in study technique, please do let me know. If you have any suggestion in the teaching methodology, you can let me know. Are you clear with the lecture? If you have any question, you can ask. Are you with me? Are you with me, girls? Okay, okay. Okay, thank you very much. I didn't get the messages. I'm just seeing it now. Okay, detailed notes are available at Hamza Academy. If you are a registered student, they will email you. The notes are divided into two sets, set 1 and set 2. Right? If you are a registered student, then they will definitely email it to you, like the course plan. If you do not get it, please do let me know. I will request them to send you the notes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much Thank you very much. Good night from my side. Loads of prayers. Thank you.